Hi, welcome to a new video. This is completely unscripted, as I always say, because it makes me uncomfortable to write a script for a video. So, someone in the comments suggested they wanted to see what materials I use in my sketchbook, so I think the way I'm going to approach this is by showing you how I work on a spread of my sketchbook and then do like a little bit of a demo of how I'm using the material, and then I cut the camera and move on to the next material slash phase of how I approach drawing. But before that, I wanted to show you guys these markers. You have probably seen them before. I think the brand is called Blanke because it says Blanke in here. I don't know, these were very cheap alcohol markers that I found at random. One day I was shopping with my mom and we came across a shop that had like random stuff, and I never expected to see alcohol markers, and they were very cheap and they work fairly well. I don't normally use like alcohol markers because usually they're expensive, but these guys were very cheap, and they have like a little nib that I honestly just use this nib actually, but they also have, sorry, they're very hard to close. They also have this nib, you know, the wait, how do I do this? There, I think, yeah, the chisel nib, which I don't really like using chisel nibs. I don't know why. I feel like I don't have as much control, but I'm showing this just to let you know that alcohol markers are not usually my medium. I don't know where you can find these. I don't know, maybe just Google Blanke alcohol markers and maybe they'll show up somewhere on an online store, hopefully, because they're very affordable. But all of this is to say that alcohol markers are not my main medium to work with. They're not my favorite, simply because of the cost and because ink tends to run out a lot quicker. I think that watercolors, which are my favorite medium, last a lot longer, and you can do kind of the same thing, you know. So these are the watercolors that I use. They buy the brand St. Petersburg. This is like a very little travel pack, and as you can see, it's very well loved and it's stained and it's a mess, but that's because I use it a lot and I'm already like hitting pan with a lot of the watercolors in here. But this lasted me years and it's still going. Like, I remember I purchased this at the very start of 2020, before the whole panini happened, for not saying the other word, you know, the other word. Before all that happened, before lockdown and whatever, I purchased this around January, and they have lasted me ever since because I lost my previous watercolor set and I was devastated. It was by another brand, but this one's a little bit goes a very long way. Yeah. So I really recommend this brand, even if it's a little bit like more expensive. It's gonna last you a lot. So I really love these watercolors. It's an investment, but it's worth it in my opinion. So yeah, watercolors is definitely my main medium, and on my previous sketchbook I wasn't using them because I thought they looked really weird on the paper, but this paper from this sketchbook does take watercolor well, so that's what I'm using. The sketchbook brand, I have no idea how it's pronounced, but it has like a little rooster on the very... it's not even visible. Wait, let me show you here. No, I covered the rooster. I'm so dumb. I'm so sorry. I think it's called Hammermühlen, something like that. I think it's a German brand or something, but I really like the quality of the paper, especially for watercolors, and the way that I work with watercolors, because not everybody works with watercolors the same way. I use them as a base color and then I shade on top using pencils or another layer of watercolors. It depends on how I'm feeling and the style I wanna get for the finished piece, you know. So this sketch wise, I just used... This is my pencil case, by the way. It's a fish. I get compliments on it a lot. Everybody asks me where the heck did I get a fish pencil case. People have thought it was an actual fish, because one day when I was carrying it like this, you know, and I didn't have the keychain back then, and somebody got scared thinking I was holding a fish, and then they laughed when they realized it was a pencil case. So everybody who asks me about this, I just say I don't know where you can find this. I got it at a garage sale that my aunt was hosting, and there it was a fish pencil case, and I've used it ever since, and it's my favorite thing ever. So that's that. So for sketching, very basic, random mechanical pencil, genuinely random mechanical pencil. I just found this one and I liked it and I stole it from my mom, and that's it. Random eraser. It's very old, so the whole thingy has rubbed off and it's still going. So that's what I use for sketching. That's it. And well, the sketch is Pulverine, obviously. I'm deep in the trenches of the Pulverine brain rot, and ignore Deadpool's proportions. Maybe he needs a little bit more cake. You know, let's give him a little bit of cake, a little bit of BBL, if you will. I don't know. I'm sorry, this is so silly. Okay, I don't know if that looks better or not, but whatever. Usually after I'm done with the sketch, I tend to go in with let me see if I find it, this thingy, which is those kneaded erasers. Mine is very old, and sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. So this is what I use for line art. It's the Unifin fine liner, and I like to use a size 04, 08, and 02 for like very little details. I mainly use the 04 for the whole line art. 08 I use for doing like an outline layer if I want the outline to be thicker than the lines on the inside. And 2 I usually use on the faces because I want to have more control over the details and stuff. So right now I'm gonna do a little bit of the line art as a demo, and once I'm done with that, I'll cut and show you how I use my watercolors. So let's go. So now that I'm done with the line art, I'm going to show you how I use my watercolors. So here they are. They're very well loved. I'm hitting pan in a lot of them. Yeah, and this is these are the two water brushes thingies that I use to paint. One has a large tip, and the other one is a little one for details. So when I approach watercolor painting, I like to start with the skin. I don't know why, but that's what I do. And for skin, I just take orange and dilute it a lot. If it's a light complexion character, I dilute it a lot, and then I have like a little piece of paper to test the color and see if I like it or not. And after that, I move on to painting, and that's it. If I find that it's too pigmented, having a little bit of paper on hand is also useful, so you can dab away the excess of color, like I'm doing right now. And yeah, that's basically it. Right now I'm doing a light layer because I'm just gonna focus on giving base colors, kind of like when you do digital drawing, when there's base colors and there's just an extra layer for shading and lighting and stuff like that. I think that watercolor painting is kind of the same. After I'm done with the skin, I usually go with hair or with other areas. I think I'm going to continue with yellow for Wolverine suit. Okay, so it's the next day, and as you can see, base colors are done. This is just watercolor. So what I'm gonna do now is pull out my color pencils and shade the drawing. These are the Faber-Castell Polychromos color pencils. This is just the smallest pack. It's a 12 color pack, and I got it as a gift many years ago when I was 15. I am currently 25, so do your math because I can't. I suck at math. Anyway, as you can see, they're very well loved, especially the black and the brown. Look at how little look at how little they are. Anyway, one of my best friends from when I was 15 gave me these as a birthday gift, and I kept them ever since, and I love them very dearly. This color, there was this kind of periwinkle color. It was like this small, and I had to I don't know, put it out of commission. So I replaced it with a regular school level Faber-Castell same color pencil, and I just keep it there because I like to use this color to shade the eyes. I don't know why I like to shade the eyes, but I do. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do a mix of shading with these color pencils and shading with watercolors. because sometimes when you do shading with color pencils, it can like rub with the page that is like next to it, and there's going to be like color pencil residue on the other page, and I don't really like that. So I'm trying to practice my shading with watercolors, but for some things I still like to use my color pencils. So let's move this a little and let's start shading. Okay, so it's the next day and I had to stop recording because the battery of my camera died off, but we're gonna pick it up right where we left off, which was shading. I already kind of showed you how I do shading with the color pencils, which is this area, like the yellow. And I showed a little bit of the watercolor shading on Wolverine's face, but now I'm gonna work on Deadpool, so hopefully you'll be able to see more of the watercolor shading without my camera dying, you know. So right now I am mixing this deep red a bit of purple, which is here, to make a color that is like dark enough and still in the similar family of red tones to do some shading on Deadpool. So now we're on to the fun stuff, which is basically details, which I do using this Jelly Roll white pen to sorry, words fail me. Differentiate between colors that are too similar in value, for example the black and the blue, or black on black, stuff like that. Like I just go with this to, you know, do lines in here so it's more defined. And after that, what I do is I have this tin and it's full of water-based markers. All of these are water-based, none of them are alcohol markers. And this is what I use to decorate my sketchbook, to like draw, let's say, different shapes and fill them with color in the background, like a triangle, a rectangle, anything. You can add stars and all of that to decorate the background. So I'll show you how I do that. Well, that's it. That's the finished spread. and I really hope you guys like this video. Please leave a comment, subscribe, and give it a like, and share it if you want to, because it really helps with the algorithm. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any suggestions for future videos that you want me to do, feel free to leave them in the comments. And just to recap, the materials I usually go to are white jelly roll pen, Unipin fineliners, these Pentel water brushes, watercolors. The ones I'm currently using are by St. Petersburg, but I'm not really picky. I just use whatever I have. This is what I have at the moment. It was an investment, but it was a good one because it has lasted me 5 years so far. And a little bit of these watercolors goes a long way. Regular mechanical pencil. Any mechanical pencil will do. Any eraser again. Like you don't need specific brands. What I'm trying to say is that you can work with whatever you have available, you know. And this is just like a collection of very cheap, like water-based markers. Some of them have brands. Some of them don't even have a brand. This is a Crayola, for example. This is a Crayola pen. This one, I don't know what this one is from. These are from a local store that sells like cute little stationery stuff. These are by the brand Stadler, which I think is like a school brand level of markers. This one just says marker. It straight up says marker. So and these are some Stabilo markers as well. So you don't need super expensive supplies to do good art, you know. You just, like, if you really wanna draw and you have, like, let's say the bare minimum, this and a notebook, you can do great art with just a mechanical pencil or a pencil or a regular pencil and an eraser and a notebook. You don't need a lot. These are like the materials I'm used to, because it's like watercolor is my favorite medium. I've been working with it for a very long time, but really I encourage everyone to just experiment with everything you can, you know, like search for your favorite medium, because what works for me maybe doesn't work for you. So experiment a lot, have fun with art. I cannot emphasize this enough. Have fun with art. Art is about having fun. As long as you're having fun, you're going to be fine, because when you're having fun is when you start to enjoy the process, and when this becomes like more a passion rather than a chore, you start to see it as something that you enjoy doing rather than I have to get good at this. So have fun, experiment a lot, use references, don't steal from other artists, just have fun, really experiment a lot, try watercolors, try all pastels, try color pencils, try markers, try inks, try charcoal, color pencils, a random pencil, a random pen even. Like, the world is yours. Just get a cheap sketchbook to begin with and go wild and experiment with everything you can find when it comes to art. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can treat yourself to something a little bit more pricey every now and again if you can, but it doesn't have to be expensive. You can just do great art with very cheap art supplies. Like even the alcohol markers I showed were extremely cheap. Like I'm talking about 48 soles, which is my country's currency. And how much let me see how much would that be on dollars. $12. $12 for a pack of 48 markers. Like that's a lot cheaper than other alcohol markers, right? And so you don't really need super expensive stuff to do art. And honestly, like those alcohol markers I stumbled upon by accident, so it's not like I was actively looking for them. I just happened to find them and I went, oh, it would be nice to like experiment with these, you know? So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, please like and subscribe and leave a comment below because that really helps me to grow this channel and do more videos for you. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video, hopefully. Yeah, bye bye, love ya.